loves, I am so excited because today I have an awesome video to share with you guys. It is a collaboration and it's all about no spend months and how to have a successful no spend month. So August is going to be a no spend month for myself and my husband, and we are doing this video today in collaboration with a bunch of other amazing YouTube ladies who are also embarking on a no spend journey for August. So I'm excited to share some tips and tricks with you guys today, how we map out a no spend month. And be sure to check out all the other videos in the collaboration. I am super excited to be working with these ladies, and we're going to make August a very successful no spend month. Let's get started. Alright, so the first question to consider with a no spend is, what the heck is a no spend, right? I know you may be seeing it around, and if you're in like a budgeting group or like a planner group, holler to all the planner girls, you may see people who are talking about, oh, I'm on a no spend month, or oh my gosh, I'm going to break my no spend and buy something, and you're thinking, what in the world is that? So let me break it down for you real quick. So a no spend is basically whatever length of time that you choose, but it's restraining yourself from spending in frivolous categories. So what it's defined as is taking care of your four walls, as Dave Ramsey says, so your house, your bills, your groceries, any bills that you have, like, you know, the lights and the food and all of those things. So taking care of those necessities that you truly need in order to live, and letting the things that are frivolous kind of go on a break, right? So for myself, what a no spend really looks like is it can be either like a day, it can be a week, you can do a month, you can do a couple of weeks. I think my first successful no spend was about 2 weeks, because I tried to do a month and I failed miserably. I just didn't understand the concepts. I didn't really have a big enough motivation for myself to have a successful no spend month. So I would suggest starting small if you're just getting started, if you are wanting to just try this out. Don't really, don't overwhelm yourself. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed with the idea that it has to be a month. You can start small. You can select a certain category to not spend on. However you think that it will work for you, try that, and the next time you can always add on. So today I'm going to share with you guys 5 tips that have helped me in previous no spend lengths of time, so no spend months. So the first tip that I have for you is your why, or your motivation. So the very probably most important thing to figure out with a no spend is, why the heck are you doing a no spend, right? Like I said earlier, you can like look on Facebook and you may see people doing a no spend and think, oh, that sounds good, let me try it. But without specific motivation for yourself, you won't be successful. If you're just doing something, and this is true in anything in life, if you're just doing something because you see other people doing it, you're not going to have success with it because you won't be connected to it for a personal reason. So the first thing is to find your why and your motivation. For my husband and I, our motivation is we're in baby step number 2, and I am so stinking anxious to be done with paying off debt. Like, it literally drives me crazy, and we're at this point now where we are what Dave Ramsey calls gazelle intense, and we are literally just like running straight forward, like we're running, straight into a prize, and we can see it, and it's right there, and it is far enough off still for us. I mean, we have about another year or so to go, but that's our biggest motivation. And every time that we make a snowflake payment or an extra payment on a credit card or on a debt, or every time we pay something off, we just get more and more motivated to keep going and to continue seeing success. So for us, our motivation for this month is to get our next debt paid off. We're kind of just starting on this next debt. I think it's our 4th. It's our 4th this year. It's our 4th debt that we're going to be paying off this year. But I think it's our 5th overall. But we are kind of just getting started with making extra payments. We did just pay off a debt this month because it is still July. So we did just pay one off this month. And I literally cannot wait to get the next one paid off. Like, we can see that freedom and like taste it. So that's our motivation. That's our why for sticking to a no spend for this month. Step number 2 is to figure out what your goals are. Now, it's not enough to have some motivation and to have a specific reason why you want to commit to a no spend. You have to break down that motivation and that why into specific goals. Now, when we talk about goals, we want them to be specific, we want them to be measurable, we want them to be time sensitive, and I think there are 2 other acronyms that I can't think of right now. But there are specific things that you can measure your goals by to make sure that you're going to hit your target. For us, for this month, we're going to set up a specific goal for a certain dollar amount that we'll be able to save and to not spend on other things that we usually spend it on in order to put towards that next debt. So that's our number 3, is to make a plan. Now, you've probably seen it said or heard it said that a goal without a plan is just a wish, and it's so, so true. If you don't plan how you're going to achieve your goals, you're not going to achieve them. So with a no spend, it's so important to figure out what your plan is. What are you not going to spend on? What are you going to do with the extra money that you save? Don't just allow yourself to, don't just say to yourself, I'm just not going to spend on, nail polishes or personal category this month, and then not track where that money is or not track what's happening with that money. You need to make a specific plan, and one thing that would be really helpful is to make a plan for each week. Set aside a specific number or amount that you want to save within the no spend for each week. At the end of the week, go ahead and put that money into a savings account. Put it somewhere that you can't touch it. Put it aside to pay off onto a debt. And know that at the end of each week, you're reconciling and you're saying, what did I not spend on this week? How did I do? How am I going on my no spend? And put that money somewhere. Give it a name. Like Dave Ramsey says, every dollar has to have a name or it's going to disappear. You're not going to know where that money went. At the end of the weeks or months that you do your no spend for, you're going to look back and say, well, I didn't drink any extra coffee this week. I didn't go to Starbucks 5 times, but where'd that money go? So you have to make a plan for it and set it aside specifically. 4 is to review and celebrate. Now, like with the make a plan step, you want to make sure that you're reviewing your plan often. So, for example, we're doing this for a month. My husband and I typically sit down at least once a week and review our budget. We look at our goals, what we're doing, what we should do differently, what our next steps are, and we make a new plan based on that review of our goals. So that's step number 4, is to review. And at your review, I don't want you to just sit down and look at it and say, okay, I haven't, gone to Starbucks 3 times this week. Can you guys tell Starbucks is my problem? I haven't gone to Starbucks 3 times this week. That's awesome. But what are you going to do? How are you going to celebrate? So it's not only important to review, but it's important to celebrate and to make each little step a success for yourself, because that's what keeps you motivated. If you don't have that time and take the time to celebrate those milestones, you're not going to keep yourself motivated to reach the next step. Number 5 is to practice what you've learned. I find that with a no spend, it's almost, you get 2 sides of the coin, right? You either have people who say, okay, I'm going to do a no spend next month. So in the last 2 weeks of the month, I'm going to spend so much money. I'm going to buy everything that I've been thinking about getting, and everything I see, I'm going to just get it, and I'm just going to write it off for later. Or you have people who say, okay, I'm going to do a no spend and I'm going to stick to it, and they do really, really well throughout the month, and at the beginning of the next month or the next weeks or whatever, they go crazy, right? They take all that money and they just blow it, and they go back to going to Starbucks every day, or they go back to purchasing tons of planner stickers, guilty, or whatever their vice is. They go back to that, and they throw out everything that they learned in their no spend. They throw out the progress that they made, and that's what I don't want you guys to do. I want you to make sure that you are keeping track of your progress through reviewing and celebrating and making a plan and setting goals and knowing what your motivation is. But at the end, I want you to take all of that, bundle it up, and say, oh my gosh, this month was so successful, or maybe it wasn't so successful, but what can you learn from it either way? And take that into the next month. Make some adjustments. If maybe, for example, for us, I've said this before, but we have a lot of personal money, I feel like, that we get each month. And so one thing that we have kind of been working on is tweaking that amount, seeing if there's a place that we can allocate it differently than a personal fund for ourselves. So that's what I will not be spending on this month, is personal money, and probably date nights. We're going to probably try and get creative about date nights. And I'll tell you guys a couple reasons why. We are having our anniversary in September. So for August, once we do our no spend month, we know that we want to do something fun for our anniversary in September. So it'll help us to be able to save that date night money that we would usually get each month to do something fun and, exciting and a little different for our anniversary in September. But with that personal money, we can look at it in September and say, okay, how much did we use? How much did we need? How much do we realistically think that we can spend each month without, feeling like we're just buying up all the things that we see, or without feeling deprived, right? Without feeling like I can't go to Starbucks because I don't have, $5 to get a latte with, or something like that. Those are the little things that like bring me joy, and they're the things that are really important, right, to be able to have and to not feel deprived when you're going through a journey, whatever it is, whatever your financial journey is, whatever your financial goals are, whether you're paying off debt, whether you're saving for a house, whether you are saving for a baby fund or retirement, or on and on and on, a new car, whatever it is that your goals that you're working towards. If you don't have those little things that you can go and enjoy with, that you can take, you know, a little bit of the hard-earned money that you've earned and enjoy life with, then you're going to feel deprived, and that's not what you want throughout any step of your financial journey. So that is number 5. Take what you learn in this no spend period and apply it to the rest of your journey. Don't just let it be a month where you didn't, you know, go out for breakfast or brunch. Let it be something that you truly can learn from, and that it grows you into the next phase of your financial journey. That is it for my 5 tips on how to have a successful no-spend month. I hope that you'll join me in August as we go on this no-spend journey, and be sure to check out all of the other amazing ladies who are joining this collaboration. I will see you soon. Be sure to check in with me next week as I share with you our update for our no-spend month. Talk to you soon.